Welcome back, artists. Today we're going to be doing some planning for our clay pinch pot fish. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to open up to the next open page in my learning log notebook. If I'm at home, I can use a blank sheet of paper for this planning. I'm going to work in my notebook. You should be finding the next open page. So it should be right after whatever you did last. So I've got a few examples here of some friends who did some really awesome work previous years that I've done this. We're going to be doing two views of our fish, one from the front with our details and then one from the side of our fish. So first thing that I need to do with this is I need to draw the front of my fish. You want that big open mouth of your fish. Basically what we're going to start with is a nice big circle on our paper. And this is going to be the mouth facing towards us. We're going to have an edge here, so you need to have like a lip. We're going to add a smaller circle inside of this big circle as well to kind of represent that edge. And then from here, I can start adding my details. One of the things you have to have on your fish is eyes. So we're gonna add those eyes right up on top here. Something else that I have to have on my fish, everyone's going to have this, is fins. Now I can decide what shape I want those fins to be. They can be kind of rounded like this. They could have bumps. They could be triangle-y like this one here. I could just do a nice round, pretty normal fish fin. It's up to you. Just remember that you're gonna have to be making this out of clay, so you don't want anything too complicated, and you also don't want anything that's gonna end up being super thin. So I believe this friend here ended up changing their plan just a little bit because these are gonna be really hard to make out of clay. Now, another place we are gonna add a fin is along the back side, but remember, we're looking from the front. I can't see the back of my fish yet, so we'll have to draw that on the next page for our second view. So now I need to think about, what other details would I want to add that not everyone has to add, but I could add to make my fish look how I want it to. Do you want a tongue in your fish? Do you want teeth in your fish? You could do a whole bunch of teeth. You could do just a couple, but remember, I am gonna make this out of clay. So maybe I add just a couple of big teeth because I want kind of like going along with the pointy parts here. I could even do some on the bottom. My favorite fish is an anglerfish, so I added that anglerfish lantern on top. That's an extra detail that you could do, but you don't have to do. I could stop here if I want to, or I can keep adding details. Now, when I'm ready with what the front of my fish is gonna look like, I'm gonna move on to the side view. Now, to draw this, we can't just do the big circle because it's gonna be facing sideways. We're gonna draw kind of a C shape, because that makes that curved part of the body on our fish. I'm gonna add a really tall, skinny oval, and that's that open mouth again. So it's kind of looking like I'm looking inside of the fish, inside the mouth. All right, so now I need to look back at my drawing that I've already done, and I need to add the details I've already added. So I can add my teeth. Now remember, this is a side view, so I might not be able to see those teeth exactly how they were before. They're gonna be a little skinnier. Here, if I wanted a tongue, I could draw that coming out. Ooh, I need to add my eyes. And because we're looking at the side, I'm only gonna see one of the eyeballs. I don't need to draw two. And then if my lines overlap here, I can erase out the middle and add that pupil. Now we talked about how there needs to be a fin or a tail on the back side of my fish. I couldn't see it when I was drawing it on the first one, but now I can see where that fin would be. So I'm going to draw that onto the back of my fish. I could go with a different type of fin, or if I want them to match, I could. I think I want mine to be kind of zigzaggy like my other one was, so I'm gonna add that. And I could add my lines that go here to add a little bit of a texture. Last thing I also need to think about is texture is going to be required on your fish. Really easy way to get texture on your fish would be something like scales. We're gonna have tools where we can press shapes into here. So I see that this friend decided they wanted like a polka dot thing going on their fish. So you could do that. We could do stripes if you want stripes on your fish. So I'm gonna kind of draw some kind of texture. I'm just gonna add scales on my fish because that's pretty typical. And I think actually I am gonna add the scales a little bit over to here as well, because I should be able to see them from the front a little bit. So then, once I'm happy with how my fish looks, I want you to think about coloring it in. We're gonna end up painting these, and we've got all kinds of different options for colors. As I'm coloring, I should think about how each shape next to each other should be a different color. So my fin is different than the body, is different than the inside of the mouth. And I wanna really work to make sure that I'm staying inside of the spaces that I colored. So if I have polka dots, they should be a different color. Working really hard to stay in my lines and do my best coloring.